This is a disclaimer. I am not responsible for what I say on this motherfucking show.
Kick your shit, bitch.
Yo, 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 yo. Shout out to y'all, I mean, if you tuning in with me on this motherfucker. And welcome back to K.S.W.R. Shout out to the day one listeners and viewers. Shout out to all the people who got off the ass and made something shake. You should already know. It's the only motherfucking twerking we could donate to around this bitch. Shout out to y'all. Y'all get the cheers. Yes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, motherfuckers. Yeah, I mean, cause I'm going up. It's up from here. And yeah, man. Okay, man. This is part 3 of the 3-part series built to divide. Part 3. And I'm closing out this raw ass 3-part series, man, and be talking about something heavy. Black love, relationships, and how the system keeps trying to make it fail. And if you've been listening, you already know part 1 was about how the system puts men and women against each other. Part 2, we dug into child support and control. Now it's time for the real talk to close it out. Why black love feels so hard. Why we keep hurting each other, and why it feels like nobody outside the community wants us to win together. And yeah, I thought the last one hit deep, but this one, yeah, same level. This is deep as well, because we gonna talk trauma, trust, social media, and how to actually fight the system without fighting each other. So if you're ready for some unfiltered truth about love, family, and survival, if you're in a relationship, if you've been through one, or just trying to figure some shit out, then this one's for you. We get into all that. And this is part 3 of Built to Divide, Black Love versus the System. Let's start the motherfucking show. I'm starting here, man. I'm starting here with the hookah. Yeah, nah, real shit. I'm starting here with they don't want black love to exist. That's how I'm gonna start. Cause they really don't. Cause black love ain't just about romance. It's power. So when a black man and a black woman lock in and start building and start trusting each other, that's a real threat to the whole structure. Cause you can't control a household that's unified, and you can't manipulate people who actually communicate. So that's why they push division through everything: the media, the court systems, the economy, even shit you see on TV and the web. They feed us chaos on purpose. Love and hip hop, online drama, public breakups. What else? What else? But pretty much all that shit is designed to make us think love equals pain, and they want us to believe like stability is boring. Peace is suspicious, and loyalty is unrealistic. But when love stops being stable, that's when the system steps in to help. That's pretty much the game. That shit psychological like a motherfucker. Black men grow up told not to trust women. Black women grow up and they told they don't need a man. That ain't empowerment. It's literally programming. They took independence and turned it into isolation. They took leadership and straight twisted it into control. And they took our natural roles, protector and nurturer, and turned them into a competition. And now it's like a race to see who can do more, who can love less, and who gonna leave first. And now you wonder why, relationships these days feel like battles instead of bonds. You got brothers out here scared to open up, because vulnerability 2025, it make a black man look weak. Sisters, sisters, they scared to depend on anybody because they've been taught, dependency equals danger. And that's not love, y'all. That's pretty much, excuse me, that's pretty much survival mode disguised as standards, whether y'all believe it or not. People, Jesus Christ, man, they most definitely know how to manipulate something and change it into what it ain't, boy. And social media made it even worse. Hold up. But everybody out here comparing relationships to highlight reels. You got people thinking if your man ain't buying you Chanel or Gucci or fly you to motherfucking Bali or Mexico and all that type shit that he don't love you. You know, you got dudes thinking, you know, if she don't look like an Instagram model, then the bitch not valuable. You know, we stop building off connection. We stop building love off connection. You know, now it's clout and followers. Excuse me. You know, relationships that turned into content for real. You know, breakups turned into posts, and now it's like who can look like they winning instead of who's actually happy. And the system love it because now we do the work for them motherfuckers, and you know we post our pain, we broadcast our breakups. You know, we normalize dysfunction, and the more we do it, you know, the more disconnected we become. And we're gonna really talk about it. So let's do it then, because that's pretty much the foundation of everything. You know, the system been chipping away at that for decades. You know, they told women he gonna leave you. You know, so make sure you got your own. They told men she gonna use you, so don't never get too comfortable. You know, Future told us that as well, but he said, "Bitch, don't get too comfortable." And you know, that's pretty much two people trying to build love while side eyeing each other the whole time. That's not right, because you can't build with paranoia and you can't grow with there's fear. And then when a relationship collapses, you know, the system steps in with child support, court orders, or welfare programs saying that don't worry, we're gonna handle it. And whole time you really don't need them to handle it, because at first start off with the couple, we got to learn how to handle each other. You know, and black love ain't hard. You know, because we don't. It ain't like black love ain't hard. You know, it ain't like we don't love each other, but it's hard because we loving through trauma, history, and distractions. You know, we loving while healing from shit we never got to unpack. You know, we loving while being broke, stressed, and under pressure to survive. And you know, we also loving while trying to prove we're not the stereotypes that they already painted us to be. You know, it's a heavy load for any relationship out here, but somehow we still do it. You know, that's why I say black love is revolutionary. You know, every time two black people commit to each other, you know, despite the odds, you know, they flipping the system off without even knowing it. And man, I got more notes. I most definitely want to dive into this, but I want to hit this hookah. So yeah, the quicker I can get to this break, the quicker I can get to this hookah, y'all. So let's take a quick break, man. Sponsor break at that. Buy some t-shirts and shit, man.
Season 4 is here now, and we celebrating with 4 new items in the merch store available for sale. Follow us on Instagram at Kick and Shit with Rich to access the merch store and spend some money. Don't be selfish. Kick your shit, bitch.
Yo, we
Kick your
back in
shit,
this bitch. We back
bitch.
in this bitch. Yeah, yeah, I got some real good advice for y'all too, y'all. Real good advice. And that's stop letting motherfuckers outside your relationship dictate your relationship. You know, pretty much stop bringing the internet, you know, into this shit. Your courts, your friends, your mama, you know, society into your motherfucking business. Because as soon as you get to telling people, you know, some people use it. They use the info you tell them. They like to use it as ammo later down the line. You know, some people really truly don't give a fuck, and some people telling you to do things that they don't even do their damn self. So couples out there, y'all should learn each other for real. Understand what your person been through. You know, not every man who struggles with emotion is toxic. You know, some of us never had a safe space to feel. You know, and not every woman who's independent is cold. You know, some of them chicks out there, you know, they had to survive by themselves for too long. So we most definitely gotta stop judging each other through pain and start listening through understanding. And when we build trust like that, the system they lose its leverage. You know, they can't put us against each other when we actually on the same team. So y'all take that motherfucking food for thought with y'all on the way out this bitch. And I'm gonna keep it fair too. We both got work to do. You know, the men out there, if you hear this, you know, stop hiding behind the system against me. You know, if you ain't doing your part, you know, just show up. You know, lead with love, not ego. You know, and protect without trying to control. Women, this for you. You know, stop using pain as power. You know, stop testing every man like he got to pay for the last thing he did. You know, Let that guard down, bitch. When a man actually trying to build something with you, especially something that's real, let that motherfucking guard down. And stop competing and start completing. Because every time we go to war with each other, somebody outside the community getting richer and more power off of it. So that's like, man, a lot of food for thought. Thanksgiving coming up too. Put this on y'all plate. And I know we talk about the struggle a lot, but we also have to be clear. Black love ain't dead. Y'all motherfuckers out there just scared. That shit just buried under a lot of noise. We still got couples out here building businesses, raising strong ass kids, and they defining everything the world said we couldn't be. So ain't no reason why, others can't do the same, you know, because when we love each other right and we start, creating our own economy, our own stability and our own legacy, once that happens, they can't break us up no more. The system failing once they do that. Black love is power. Black love is protest. Black love is healing. That's why we gotta protect it like it's sacred because it pretty much is. Though ain't no more uncles and aunties out here these days. This is pretty much people out here making kids, and that's that. No two parent, no strong two-parent households have been on a decline for years. So if you listening right now and you in a motherfucking relationship, or maybe you done been through one and you trying to heal, I most definitely want you to remember this. Like the system ain't your enemy until you let it be. So I feel like the enemy is that little voice that you plant in your head saying that and saying that you don't need each other. That's the real threat. And if we ever gonna fix our community, the shit starts here, y'all. Like it starts with how we love each other. Not how we date, not how we post, but how we love. So yeah, man, this is part 3. I hope y'all enjoyed this shit though. Y'all really did. So I just wrapped up this 3-part series, man. Built to divide. So part 1 was the system profiting off of black pain. Part 2 is child support control, and this one right here, what I mean, black love versus the system. I enjoyed this, I gotta do more episode series and shit like that though. But all I'm gonna say is this, y'all. Start loving smarter, not harder. Start fighting the system, not each other. And don't ever let nobody convince you that black love ain't possible. Cause we pretty much the blueprint. We just forgot it for a while. And yeah, man. Until next time, y'all keep it solid, keep it real. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Y'all love each other right, man. If she a hoe, don't love that bitch. But if she ain't no hoe, I mean, whatever. To each his own. But yeah, I'm out this bitch though, y'all. I'm out.
Kick your shit, bitch.
We ain't turning no hoes to housewives around this bitch. None of them.